Hey, what's good? It's Cadillaktrackz. Hey, I'm back again. Today's quick tip is number 103. Today's quick tip is about recording into Fruity Loops step sequencer. It's something that I wanted to do for a long time. And I have the machine, and I usually just finger drum my drums on the machine, inside the machine. But I've been wanting to actually program the drums on Fruity Loops. So this video is about how to record into the step sequencer in Fruity Loops. It's a process that took me a little bit of time to get to the bottom of, but it's something that was always on my mind, and now I'm here. So I want to share this with everybody, how to record into the Fruity Loops step sequencer. The step sequencer, as you know, is this right here inside of Fruity Loops. You might see a lot of producers, they'll cook up on the step sequencer, and the step sequencer is real easy to lay down drums, and it's real, you can get real creative with it, and it's real good. You know, it's got a lot of, it's just real how do you say, hands-on, and it's real easy to drop drums in the step sequencer. And you kind of get a different rhythm when you do it like that rather than finger drumming it. When you finger drum it, it might not have been as how would you say, intricate or more precise, or that drum roll might have been not as fast, you know, because your little finger. Anyway, this quick tip is about how to record into the step sequencer in Fruity Loops. And one of my last videos, I kind of went over and I showed everybody that what I've done is I've actually created different MIDI out tracks for every sound, every drum sound, or every pad that I wanted to control inside a machine. That's what you see right here. We have kick, then we have snare, then we have our hi-hats, we have our open hat, and we have the crash and the percussion sound. I link these to my pads right here that I use on the machine so that I can actually hit the machine and it'll go ahead and record. What I came aware of is that Fruity Loops does not have a record to step sequencer function in Fruity Loops 12. It used to be in Fruity Loops 11. It almost made me thinking about going back to 11. I started to realize, why is it everyone uses 11? It's because the step sequencer and the playlist are different in 11. They're not linked together like they are in 12. That's a big thing, you know, and I wouldn't mind going back just because of that. But I'm sticking with 12 right now, and there's a workaround. I'm going to show everybody about it. So right now I have these sounds right here. I'm just going to go through this real quick because I showed you this in the last video. If I click on a sound right here, like this kick right here, as you can see, I have my MIDI out. I have a channel set up here, and I have a port set up here. That port right there, it correlates to whatever port you have your machine set up on in this channel right here in your MIDI input and output. What you want to do is you want to link the ports together. Once you've done that, you can actually start to make different MIDI outs. Each different MIDI out will be on the same port, but it will have a different channel. And this port right here, as you can see, when I click on machine and I go here, I actually have machine on the same port right there. So you just want to link up the ports together. When things are linked to the same ports, they'll receive and send MIDI data. So once you have that set up like that, I went ahead and I've made one for each of my 16 channels. I just put one for the kick because I only use one kick in a song. But I might use 4 snares, 4 hi-hats, open hi-hat, and 4 perks. So once I have that linked up, I can actually hit on my machine, and I can actually play that sound. And I'm going to go through each one. You'll see me playing it. And what I'm doing is I'm hitting the C key on my machine. So I went ahead and on my template, I went ahead and loaded up a pad where C is the bottom key. And I can just push C and I can go ahead and tap the drum rhythms. The key to recording in the step sequencer and Fruity Loops is a few things. We're going to go over it real quick. The first thing is that when you record in machine, it quantizes your notes on the 16ths, you know, and quantize the notes so that they're not all over the place. And that's what kind of helps give the machines a good rhythm. Unless you're real good at finger drumming or you don't want the quantize on because you want a little bit of a groove. But for the most part, we quantize while we record so that everything fits in the pocket. And to do that on Fruity Loops, it's the auto record function. It's something I didn't know about for a while. On Fruity Loops, you can auto record, meaning that you can record, you can auto quantize any input that's recorded. So you can quantize what you're playing on the piano. And to do that, all you do is you click on this horseshoe right here. Once the horseshoe is enabled right here, you can right click on the record button, and this is the quantize settings. I can quantize the start, the end time, or the duration of the note. So right now I have it on start time. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I put this right here to step. That way that it's recording on every 16th step. If it wasn't on step, I would have to, pick which beat I want it on or which step I want it on. This is the quantize setting. So if you want it to quantize to every step, I put it on step, or if I wanted to quantize every beat, I'd put it on beat, and so forth. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on step so that it can record each 16th of a note. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna record and show you what it's like. So let's go ahead and record the kick. So I went ahead and recorded that simple pattern. I just push record on my template. I'm gonna push stop on the machine. I'm gonna push play on the, take the record off, and I'm gonna push play on the machine again, and we're gonna listen to what we just recorded. So as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and push the piano roll button on my template, and you can see that it lined up and it quantized the notes just like it would, kind of like if you were on machine. Good thing. But the thing is, it's not recorded into the step sequencer. As you see on Fruity Loops 12, on Fruity Loops 12, you can't convert piano roll notes to the step sequencer, but you can convert step sequencer notes to the piano roll. For example, if I go ahead and I put this right here down on the snare, I can go right here to piano roll and I can convert this to piano roll, right? Once it's converted to piano roll, I can actually switch back to have it on. I can push this button or this button. I can switch back and forth. But I can't take these notes and put them into the step sequencer unless what I'll do is I actually highlight all of them. And once they're all highlighted, all you have to do is make sure the snap is on none. I keep mine on none now, unless I'm doing some quantization or whatever. All you have to do is Shift D, which is discard note lengths. It'll make each note the same length. And once each note is the same length, it'll show back up in the step sequencer. So it's as easy as opening the piano roll, highlighting the notes, and pushing Shift D to edit the note duration length. And now once you have it like that, it's right there. From here, I can go ahead and I can use the step sequencer again to add or edit notes. I'm gonna try it again here on the snare. Like I said, I'll just push record on my template, and I'll just go ahead and that's a horrible pattern, but let's go ahead and play it back. And you can hear that it's on time. You might just want to keep it in the piano roll, but if you wanted to go ahead and put it back into the step sequencer, like I said, all you have to do is highlight the notes here. My fingers all over the place, and then just Shift D real quick. Take you about less than a second, and you can see right there it goes ahead and it lays it back into the step sequencer. So this is the way right here that I found to record into the step sequencer using the machine. I can go ahead and I can finger drum the drums out. They're going to be quantized to the steps in Fruity Loops, and they're also going to be able to go back to the step sequencer by simply highlighting the notes and pushing Shift D. That's the workaround for Fruity Loops 12. If you're on 11, there's a function where you can just record the step sequencer up here. They'll say record the step sequencer when you right click the record button. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. It's kind of long here, but this is a little advanced, intricate thing right here. And this is Cadillaktrackz. Make sure you check out my custom MK3 template. Also check out my channel. But once again, this is how you record into the step sequencer in the Fruity Loops 12s. They took the function out, and since they took it out, what you need to do is record to the piano roll, like I said, or like I showed you. And once it's in the piano roll, you just simply Control A to pick all your notes, and then Shift D, and it's going to go ahead and edit the note length, and it's going to drop them back here into the step sequencer. Once they're in there, you might have a little bit more versatility adding small pieces rather than using the piano roll. This is Cadillaktrackz. This is how you record into the step sequencer using the machine. Remember to make sure that you put your auto quantize on so that the notes you hit on your machine are auto quantized. Otherwise, you'll be quantizing them every time because they won't fall in place perfectly on the grid. But this is Cadillaktrackz. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Until next time, one.